Sometimes life hands you a deal so good it feels like a trap. That's exactly what I thought when I snagged an old, beat-up general store in Redstone, Wyoming, for 99 bucks at a county tax auction. 99 bucks, can you believe that? In a town where a decent plot of land costs more than my truck. This crumbling building was cheaper than a week's worth of coffee at the diner. I stood there, holding the deed, keys jingling in my hand like they were laughing at me, wondering what the hell I'd just gotten myself into. The place was a wreck, dust so thick it coated my boots, warped floorboards creaking under every step, windows letting in these eerie slants of light that made the whole store feel like a ghost town relic. I'm Jake Carver, by the way, just a guy who thought flipping a cheap property might be a fun side hustle. I wasn't expecting to stumble into a mystery that'd make my blood run cold. At the back of the store, there was this door, heavy, solid oak, not like the flimsy pine everywhere else. It looked newer, but still covered in the same grime as the rest of the place, like it hadn't been touched in decades. I tried the handle, nothing. Not stuck, not rusted, just locked. No keyhole, no bolts, just a smooth, stubborn slab of wood that wouldn't budge, no matter how many of the seller's keys I jammed into it. I ran my hands along the edges, feeling for some hidden latch, some trick to crack it open, but the door just stared back, mocking me. This was my building now, every splinter and cobweb, but this one door? It was like it belonged to someone else. That's when I heard a knock at the front, sharp, polite, but urgent. Through the grimy windows, I saw a woman's silhouette, standing there in the afternoon sun. She introduced herself as Maggie Tate, who ran the boarding house across the street. "You're the guy who bought this place, huh?" she said, her voice warm but cautious, like she was sizing me up. Her eyes darted past me, scanning the store, lingering on that damn door. Nobody's been in here for years. Most folks thought it'd stay empty forever. "Why's that?" I asked, stepping aside so she could get a better look. Maggie hesitated, her fingers tightening around the strap of her bag. "This place, it's got history, Jake. Not the good kind." She told me about the Hawthorne family, who'd owned the store for generations. The guy who sold it, Nathan Hawthorne, inherited it from his dad, Elias, but wanted nothing to do with it. He tried unloading it for years, she said, but nobody'd touch it, not even for 99 bucks. I laughed, trying to keep things light. Guess I'm the sucker who took the bait. But Maggie's face didn't crack a smile. "It's not the price, Jake. It's what the Hawthorns were hiding. And that door." She pointed, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Nobody knows what's behind it, but the last guy who tried to find out didn't live to tell the tale." Her words hit me like a punch. She told me about Tom Ballard, a local handyman who got curious about this place 10 years back. Tom was a good guy, methodical, stubborn, the kind who'd take apart a puzzle just to prove he could. He spent weeks poking around this store, obsessed with that door, sketching diagrams, bringing tools, talking about cracking its secret. Then, one morning, his wife found him dead in his workshop. No wounds, no struggle, just gone. The coroner called it a heart attack, but Tom was 34, healthy as a horse. And here's the kicker. Every note, every sketch he made about this place, vanished. Someone cleaned it all out, like they were covering their tracks. I glanced at the door, feeling a chill crawl up my spine. Who'd go to that kind of trouble over a locked room? I asked. Maggie shook her head, already backing toward the exit. "That's what you need to figure out, Jake. But be careful. Whatever's behind that door, someone's willing to kill to keep it shut." She left me there, the store suddenly feeling 10 times quieter, that door looming like it was daring me to try my luck. The next day, I hit the town hall, digging through dusty records for anything on Tom's death. The clerk, a wiry guy named Ed, seemed nervous when I brought it up. "Not a lot of folks ask about Tom anymore," he said, pulling a thin file. The report was bare bones. Tom Ballard, age 34, dead of cardiac arrest. No foul play. Case closed. But one detail stuck out. Tom died 3 days after his last visit to this store, after spending hours messing with that door. I pressed Ed for more, but he just shrugged. His wife said he was obsessed with some old building project, but she burned all his notes after he died. Said it hurt too much to keep them. I spent the rest of the day asking around town about the Hawthorns. Most folks clammed up, changing the subject like they were scared to even say the name. But at the hardware store, I found Old Man Jenkins, who'd known the family forever. He leaned on his counter, eyes sharp despite his age. Elias Hawthorne built that store back in the 70s, he said. Always tinkering with the tatting walls, changing layouts, locking off rooms he called storage. But nobody ever saw deliveries go to those rooms. Elias was particular. I asked what kind of business he ran, and Jenkins gave me a look. General store mostly. But Elias had secrets, Jake. Secrets he didn't want anyone digging into. That afternoon, I was back at the store, crowbar in hand, determined to crack that door open. If the Hawthorns were so desperate to keep it shut, I needed to know why. I found scratches on the floor near the door, deep gouges, like someone had tried prying it open before. Tom's work, I figured. Then I noticed a loose floorboard. When I popped it up, there was a folded piece of paper tucked underneath, yellowed but legible, covered in Tom's neat handwriting. It read like a diary of desperation. Day 10. The door's mechanism is Insinino hinges, no handle, just pressure points in the wood. Found references to similar locks in old prison designs. Whoever built this didn't just want to keep people out, they wanted to make sure something inside couldn't get out. My heart pounded as I read on. Tom had talked to Elias's old assistant, who hinted at documents hidden in that room, evidence of dirty deals that could ruin half the town's big shots. The final entry, dated 2 days before Tom's death, was chilling. I think I've cracked it. The pressure points need 2 people to activate at once. I'm asking Sarah to help me tomorrow. We're going to see what Elias was hiding. Before I could process it, I heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming from the front. I was hoping you'd be smarter than this, Jake, a voice called out. Nathan Hawthorne stepped into the light, flanked by 2 burly guys who looked like they could snap me in half. Gone was the nervous guy from the auction. This Nathan was cold, confident, dangerous. Tom Ballard ignored my warnings, and it cost him everything. Now you're poking around, just like he did. He leaned closer, his voice low. I'll give you $5,000 to walk away, 50 times what you paid. Take it, start fresh somewhere else. I slipped Tom's note into my pocket, gripping the crowbar tighter. And if I say no? Nathan's smile was ice. Then you'll find out why. Tom's heart stopped beating. The air got heavy, the room shrinking around me. I was trapped. No exits except that damn door. But Tom's note gave me something Nathan didn't expect a way in. Before you do anything stupid, I said, keeping my voice steady, you should know I've already told Maggie about Tom's notes. If I don't show up at her place by sundown, she's calling the feds. It was a bluff, but Nathan's eyes flickered with doubt. You're lying, he snapped, but he didn't sound sure. Here's my deal. I pushed, stepping toward the door. Help me open it, and we both see what's inside. You get your answers, and I don't spill your family secrets. Nathan hesitated, then nodded to his goons to back off. Following Tom's notes, I found 2 pressure points on the door, subtle spots where the wood felt different. Press here, I told Nathan, pointing to the right side. We hold for 10 seconds, together. He glared but did it. For a moment, nothing. Then a click, gears grinding like the door was waking up after decades. It swung open, and the smell hit us musty, like old books locked away from the world. The room was small, maybe 8 by 8, lined with filing cabinets, each drawer labeled with names and dates. A desk sat in the center, piled with ledgers, maps, contracts. But the far wall stopped us, cold rows of photographs, like a blackmailer's trophy case. Prominent folks shaking hands, signing shady deals, even one of a guy dumping something suspicious in the river. Below each photo, a note. Names, dates, crimes, land theft, forged claims, murders. Elias Hawthorne hadn't just run a store. He'd been the puppet master of Redstone's underbelly, collecting dirt to keep everyone in line. Then I saw a photo of a younger Nathan, standing over a body with a shovel, fresh dirt piled nearby. The note read, "Tom Ballard, October 12th. Taken care of." I turned, holding it up. "This is you, Nathan. You didn't just cover up Tom's death, you killed him." His face twisted, and before I could react, he pulled a gun, aiming it square at my chest. "You think you're clever, Jake? This room's a death trap for nosy bastards like you. One wrong move, and you're just another accident in an old building." I held my ground, heart hammering. "Your dad set you up, didn't he? He knew you'd kill Tom, and he made sure there'd be proof." Nathan's grip tightened, but his eyes kept flicking to the photo. "My father was a coward," he spat. "He played small, squeezing pennies out of guilty men. I saw the big picture statehood's coming, Jake. All this dirt. It's leverage. One big payout, and I could bury it all, let these families sleep easy. Tom was gonna ruin it, turn it all over to the law for nothing but a pat on the back." Suddenly, voices echoed from the front me name, shouted with urgency. Maggie burst in, flanked by two men. One wore a sheriff's badge, the other a federal marshal's. "Drop it, Nathan," the federal guy barked, his gun already drawn. "We heard enough from outside to lock you up for good." Nathan's smirk didn't fade. "Sheriff Larson, you're in those files too, aren't you? Half this town's dirty, and my dad made sure to write it all down." Larson's face paled, his gun wavering, but Maggie stepped forward, holding a small journal she'd grabbed from the desk. "Your dad didn't just collect dirt, Nathan. He kept a list of clean folkspeople who never bent, who'd make sure this evidence sees the light." Nathan's confidence cracked, and the federal Marshal Thompson, his badge said, moved in. "You're done, Hawthorne. Murder, conspiracy, obstruction, federal charges." Put the gun down. For a second, I thought Nathan might fight. Then he deflated, the gun clattering to the floor. Thompson cuffed him, and Larson, who didn't even resist, his own guilt weighing him down. Maggie and I gathered the worst of the evidence, the photo of Tom's murder, Elias's ledgers, and handed it over. Over the next few weeks, Redstone unraveled. Federal agents tore through those files, dragging prominent families into court. Some ran, some confessed, hoping for leniency. Nathan got the gallows for Tom's murder. Larson got 20 years. Maggie stepped up as interim mayor, using that journal to rebuild the town with honest folks. I kept the store, turned it into something good, a general store up front, a public archive in the back, where anyone could dig through records and know their rights. I put a plaque by the door for Tom Ballard, a reminder of the guy who died chasing the truth. Every day, folks pass it, some pausing to read, others just grabbing their groceries. That door, once a gate to secrets, stays open now, letting light flood in. Looking back, I wonder if I'd have bid on that store knowing what I'd find. Tom's death, Elias's schemes, Nathan's desperation, it all came down to one truth. Secrets fester, and truth costs blood to uncover. But standing in my store, watching Maggie sort records for the town, I know it was worth it. Redstone's cleaner now, not perfect, but honest. So what do you think? Was it justice, or did we just stir up a hornet's nest? Drop a comment. Tell me your take. Have you ever stumbled into a secret that changed everything? Hit that subscribe button, and let's keep digging into stories where truth fights to break free.